I'm Paola, the co-founder and co-owner of mYak, and I'm so super thrilled to welcome Tif Neilan in our chat as our guest today. Hi, Tif, how are you doing?
Hi. Thank you for having me today.
Good. I know it's your first live. Yeah. And clearly, despite the fact that I've done a few, I still have some technical issue. And I'm going to mind the chat. So finally, they can hear us. Everything is good. We can start. We can delete the beginning, the first few minutes where we were trying to figure out where we were just talking to ourselves. So why are we here today? First of all, we wanted to invite Tif to be on with us as our guest because she is our guest designer for the Kora Club. But not just for that, just because we love her work as well. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give a brief introduction of the Kora Club, so you know what this is about. I think a lot of you have already got the club, registered for the club. It's not coming out until March, and we can move from there. So the Kora Club is a bi-monthly club. You can see it here. A bi-monthly club that we do to try to offer a limited edition color of our baby yak, normally, at least until so far. And we do a limited edition color for, we don't do as many because, as we said, it's limited edition. And for each club, we invite a designer to design a beautiful pattern, which is included in the club. And then we also have some add-on, and we will talk about it. So now the club starts with a mood. So each month, or every 2 months, or every 3 months, we have a specific mood that we have, that we have decided upon. And after we decide the color and the mood, that's when we select the designer. So it's not the other way around. So first we want to make sure that we select a color that we think the designer would love. And in this case, the color of the month is brick dust, which I'm going to show you. And the mood is limitless energy. And we thought we could all do with some renewed energy at the beginning of the year, trying to bring energy from Mother Earth. And we have a beautiful write-up about limitless energy mood on our website. So you can find all the information on the website, and I won't be able to put links in the chat, but we will put all of the information down below in the description box at the end of the chat. So anything that we're going to talk about, lots of the patterns for Tif as well, I will put everything in the chat down below. So the color was this beautiful brick dust. And when I saw it, I immediately thought about inviting Tif to join us in this club. And I had admired Tif work for a while. I have a few of her design on my wish list. And my team was excited about the idea. We just shared everything. And so I, emailed Tif, and Tif said she would love to, but she couldn't do it in the time frame that we should have issued release the club. But we love Tif so much, and we wanted to really work with her. I mean, the yarn and the color was for Tif, that we decided to postpone the club of 5 weeks, more or less. So that's why it's a little bit later than normally is. This is really, in a nutshell, the introduction. But here is Tif. So Tif, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I don't know where to start. I live in Connecticut with my husband, 2 daughters, and 3 dogs. So it's like kind of a chaotic zoo in here lately. And I would say that my passion for designing and crafting and making has been something that's been with me since I was a child. I used to rearrange my mother, like the house, like rooms of my house growing up while my mom was out, and she would come home and I had like rearranged the living room. So design is definitely something that I would say is just in me. It's just something that I felt like I needed to do. So my design background is interior design, which I did for 15 years.
Oh.
Yep. And I think that I approach my knitting design and patterns a lot in the same way that I approach interior design. And I think maybe that's why I'm so drawn to like playing with color and texture. And as you know, I'm completely obsessed with herringbone stitch, which is traditionally found in like home goods and blankets and baskets and whatnot. And so ironically, when I first started knitting, I looked for herringbone patterns. I'm self-taught, I didn't realize that was kind of like a crazy place to start. And I didn't see a lot of herringbone patterns. And so I thought, well, I should just learn how to do it and make it. And it was crazy. So the first couple of patterns I knit, I started off with a pattern and I strayed from it immediately. And by the end, I had written my own pattern, and friends said, that's not the way this normally goes, right? But, that sort of was the start. And it's kind of one of those things. I feel like there's often something that I have in my head, an idea of something that I want that I couldn't find. And so making it is just, the thing that my brain goes to. Well, just make it yourself, just do it. So that's kind of where it started. And oddly, my whole life I thought interior design was what I wanted to do and would do that for forever. And my passion for designing knitwear took over. So actually I left my job and decided to do this full time. And in looking back, I left my job in October of 2019.
Oh, wow.
October. And I mean, of course, I had no idea that we were going to have, be hit with this pandemic starting in January, but I'm so thankful, that this was already my plan. It wasn't something that I was like, okay, let me now scramble to figure out what I'm doing. It was, that was the plan that I had already set out for myself. And it's been nutty, but I love every second of it. There's never not like 10 things on my needles at once, because idea kind of falls into my head. It's like I'm driving somewhere, I'm doing something, an idea falls into my head. And even though I go home and I sketch it and I kind of work it out, it's like I have to sort of see if it'll work, at least the start of it. So I cast on, and it's kind of nutty. But yeah, so that's sort of my story and how I got started. And I would say, if you had asked me 10 years ago if I see myself designing hand knitting patterns, I would have said, like, are you crazy? Like, there's just no way I can tackle that. But it's amazing. It's so much fun, but it also completely satisfies that like design making need that I have, that it's just in me. So
well, and you're doing beautiful things, and we will talk about it. I think it's interesting the fact that you give up your, you said 13 years interior design job, and that's straight into a lockdown where you, in a way, you have to change gear completely, mentally and physically, your routine. And I think you're homeschooling right now.
So that's the other thing is that, my plan was I left my job in October or September, and it was like, okay, well, the kids will be at school and I'll have my days to be able to sit and focus and think. And we are now approaching the 1 year mark. Well, March 10th will be 1 year that my kids have been home full time. And so of course that's not something that we ever could have planned for. So it doesn't look exactly the way I had planned in my head of, all this quiet time to focus and design, but
in a way, is you don't have to worry about a day job and trying to keep the, the 9 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
and everything else. So
absolutely. I mean, I would say some days I work easily a 15-hour day. It's like I get up early and I do what I can and I get them situated, and then I do a little more and I get them situated, and then, you know, it's dinner and I exercise and then I do a little more. And my husband thinks that I'm crazy that I often don't go to bed until 1:30 in the morning, but like, yeah, I know. But 10 p.m. till 1:30 when I'm the only one awake is like, you know, it's blissful.
it's the golden hour for a lot of knitters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's no, I'm in bed. I'm there, you know. I'm a riser, and you know, I have a 7 years old that needs to go to school, and she's going to school right now. We do, you know, sometimes it's homeschooling, sometimes is she's going to school, but coming back, she has all the homework, and if I am here in the studio, it takes me a long time to go back. So, you know, I know the feeling. And how old are your daughters?
8 and 10.
Okay.
Yeah, 2nd grade and 4th grade.
2nd grade and 4th grade, yes. So I think that the 2nd grade one probably needs a little bit more.
You know, ironically, she's very self-sufficient. So she gets in the zone. She's kind of a perfectionist, and she does it. I mean, if she has an issue, she comes and she asks me, but she's very much a I do this myself kind of person.
Oh, nice.
And I think I'm just not sure that I could do this if she were younger or not that person, because you know, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a big part of the day. So yeah.
And I know that you know, one of the many exciting things of when we decided to work with you is that we discovered, and we didn't know, that you are half Italian as well.
I am, yes. So my mother's side, my family is from Bologna. And actually my grandmother is here, but all of the rest of our family is still in Bologna. Yeah, and so Italy is very near and dear to me. I've been 4 times, and of course, ironically, I had planned to go back this summer, which won't be happening, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And but you, so you were born here?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So my mother is 1st generation here.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you speak Italian as well, or did she speak Italian with you?
My mother is fluent in Italian. I spoke it some in high school. You know, it was the language that I took in high school. And so high school and into college, when I went to Italy, I could speak it okay, and I could understand it better than I could speak it. And now I've lost like all of it.
Oh, you just need a summer in Italy, and then
yeah,
to get some
inspiration.
inspiration.
To like audiobooks or something.
Yeah. It's funny that you actually mentioned that your mother is, and you have relatives in Bologna, because when I look at the architecture that of the city, you know, Bologna is a beautiful city. Yeah. In a way, a lot of those buildings they have with the bricks, which is a very similar color, but they also have the herringbone construction.
Yeah.
In the architecture. So is maybe that it could be that maybe the inspiration comes from that too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I do always say that I wasn't meant to be born in this time. I wasn't meant to live in America. I'm so drawn and inspired by architecture and landscapes, you know, not here. And I actually last year, ironically, I joked with my husband that my ideal day would be knitting all day and horseback riding. I grew up horseback riding. And over the summer, my daughters decided that they wanted to start horseback riding. So I returned to it myself as well. And so it's kind of funny. He's like, so you're literally doing your dream now of just knitting all day and horseback riding. I'm like, it's a little, like, it's not exactly, but yeah. But
I think is that what was one of the questions that I had for you about your passion for horse riding. Where did it come from, and now you pass it on to your daughters as well?
Yeah. So I rode as a child, through as a child and a teenager, and I stopped, of course, when I went to college. And so, so I'm 37. I think I'm 37.
Yeah.
So it's been, when I returned to riding, I mean, it had been literally 20 years since I had taken a riding lesson. And every year I've been on a horse, you know, at least once a year, every year since, usually for like a trail ride or something basic. But it's definitely in my blood. It's in my girl's blood. When we, you know, the second day we were there at the stables, my 10-year-old daughter was like, Mom, so I was a working student. I would muck stalls and I would spend entire days there in the summer, you know, doing all like the nitty gritty. And she said, when do I get to do that? And I'm like, okay, yep, it's in your blood. But so funny, I mean, my mother didn't ever ride. It's not something that was like passed down to me, but I love horses so much that it hurts. It's like if I could be there every day, I would be there every day for sure.
If you had to give up knitting and horses, what would you give up?
Oh gosh, you know, that's an impossible decision because they both just really feed my soul. Like, it's the therapeutic benefits I can't even put it into words. And knitting, especially for me, came at a time when I might get emotional talking about it. I had suffered bilateral pulmonary embolisms. Oh. And so having a near-death experience, I was completely traumatized. I had terrible like PTSD. And so I was scared to go to sleep at night. So I needed to do something that would take my mind off of things. And basically I needed to be so tired that I could just fall asleep without worry.
Right.
So that was like a crash course in knitting. Every night I would knit. And I couldn't just knit something basic because that wasn't distracting enough. So I had to, you know, kind of try to figure out something interesting or different or complicated. And so, I mean, so I say that knitting saved my life because it was the most traumatic experience. And it was kind of, you know, it's hard. That's not something that even when someone empathizes, you know, it's hard to understand what it feels like to almost die, you know? So it's not something you can just talk about with everybody and that they feel it. So knitting saved me from that experience. But whenever I'm having a stressful day or a hard day, I go to the stables, I'm there for like 3 hours and I come home and I'm so happy. Like when I'm there, I don't think about anything else. I don't worry about anything else. So yeah, it would be impossible to give one up.
Oh, wow. So let's change gears and let's go back to the Kora Club. Sorry, I have a little bit of cough. But before we do that, actually, before we show the design, today is the Tibetan New Year. So Tibetans all around the world celebrate the New Year, and also in China, is the Chinese New Year, is the New Year of the ox. And yesterday, you know, normally I celebrated with Tibetan friends, whether here in New York and in the past in Tibet. And so it felt a bit strange for me to be, you know, all alone in the studio today. But last night, a Tibetan friend came and brought some Tibetan food for us. So we warmed it up in the evening and we had a wonderful momo dinner. So I'm really grateful. But one of the things that he brought is, sorry for that, is this beautiful cup of kapse. So kapse is, they're made with dough, and they are all braided. It's like a little bit of like a herringbone kind of things. And they are sweet. You can eat them. I'm addicted to them, and you know how much I love them. And normally you have them on Tibetan New Year when the family comes in, you know, and they spend time together. There's a lot of traditions and everything like that, but, you know, which I'm completely missed out this year. But I thought that at least I could, you know, virtually offer a kapse to all of the people watching. And when I saw it, I was, you know, literally thinking about your design because of the herringbone thing. So if you're going to speak a little bit, if you see me munching, you know what I'm going to, why I'm going to do that. The smell of the fried dough is really, really, really.
Oh yeah, that.
It's really good. So I just want you to say that, you know, it's not only special to be, you know, having you as a guest today, but it's a special day for Tibetans. And talking about Tibetan yarn and on Tibetan, on Losar, on Tibetan New Year is just extra special. So I just want to say that. And let's show the color first. You know, I
have it here also.
There you go. So this is the beautiful color of the Kora Club, is brick dust. The color is, you know, when we actually, you know, it's funny how this Kora Club works is first we think about the mood, then the color, then the designer. So it's, you know, sort of a circle, like really like a chorus, like a circle of life in a way. So we knew that after the first two Kora Club, the Healing Blue and the Regenerate, we wanted to have the energy. You know, we all been, you know, closed at home, cooked up in the, you know, in our homes, or, you know, with the virtual work, that I thought would be nice to just have all of this energy finally flowing. And of course, you know, to us, you know, especially in, you know, for Buddhism and the philosophy that we believe in, is you bring the energy from Mother Earth. Yeah. And I think, you know, we had a discussion about it, how things have changed during the last year, and in a way how the environment has benefited from this, you know, holding off from closed, factories are closed, traffic was not flowing. So the environment actually flourished, and Mother Earth sort of took a deep breath saying, woof, you know, can we have more like that? We suffered for many reasons because of the pandemic, the illness and everything else. But there have been, you know, flowers in the desert that have not bloomed for years. They finally come back, or animals that were almost on the extinct, that, you know, try to, you know, come back as well. So in a way, there was a break for Mother Earth. And now we have the opportunity, you know, we always have the opportunity, but now it's stronger than ever with, you know, taking care of our own environment, for us, for our children, for our grandchildren, or even if we don't have children, for our friends and their children. So I thought it was, I was very, you know, fitting to have this, the energy flowing and the limitless energy, because it's not so limited, you know, so it's not so unlimited. Yeah. But when I saw, you know, when we had the mood, we thought about the color of the earth, of course, you know, so the brick color of the earth was really, you know, really fitting, but also the color of a lot of the Tibetan house, the Tibetan architecture, going back to interior design. A lot of the monastery in Tibet, they have these beautiful walls and pillars. You know, there's like, in more or less in this color. So it's the color of the traditional architecture of the stone and clay and wood, burnt wood, mixed together to build those homes. So all of that came into the color of the bebia. And this is the base, is colored on our desert base. Remember, we do not bleach. We don't use any chemicals. We just over dye the base that we have. So we really never know what color comes out depending on the base. And so that's the color that came out. And I think is, to be honest, is when I saw a picture of you and your daughter horse riding, more than your design, that I thought about, you know, about you for this color, because, you know, we never met. We, you know, we don't know each other, so that, you know, people know we, you know, this is another beautiful things about this community. You just connect through, you know, in this case, is virtually through Instagram and through YouTube and everything else. But I saw that picture, and I think there was a picture, I saw the connection that you had with nature. And then, you know, I knew of your design, and then I went back to see if some of your design and all those earthy tone, I felt that was something that you would enjoy. So that's when we connected. And what did you say?
I said I would absolutely love to. First of all, the fact that the club had a tie to Italy spoke to me immediately. That just spoke to my heart. But I would say that 99% of my designs are inspired by something from nature. I'm kind of a crazy plant lady. I have like 60 house plants. It's nutty. Yeah, my daughters are like, you know, it's like a greenhouse in here, right?
That's great.
So yeah, so definitely, I have a respect for nature and appreciation for, I just think there's a lot of natural beauty, even in ordinary things. You know, it's not always just about like the blooming garden. There's just so much beauty if you look for it. You know, things that we take for granted, that even trees, bare trees in winter, and just kind of the way the branches, you know, form shapes and are intersecting. I just think that there's a lot of beauty there. And so actually when I saw the inspiration art of the persimmon tree, it was, you know, sometimes you see something, you're like, oh my God, this is just like, it's kismet, it's just perfect. And that was exactly immediately it for me. Between the way the branches intersect and then the way the fruit hangs, it was just kind of this like, you know, it has, obviously it's a completely organic shape, but having also the geometry of it within like the organic was really just kind of inspiring to me for the shawl.
Let me talk about that for a second so that people will understand as well. So together with you know, the mood and the colors, we also come out with a graphic. And in this case, we started from this beautiful persimmon tree on un albero di cachi. And how did we get about? So I have the color, and we thought about what would represent that color. And I thought about persimmon. You know, I love the fruit. I love what the symbolism behind it. Again, in you know, in Tibetan Buddhism. And so we reached out to an Italian artisans, because in the club, besides the design, besides the yarn, we always add something Italian. You know, from Italy with love is something we always want to bring together, the Italian side and the Tibetan side, to make it different. And, you know, it's just an add-on. You can decide to get it or not to get it. And so Renza Crea, which makes these beautiful recycled paper items, we discussed it with her, and we decided to go with a little bookmark made with recycled paper that has a pencil, and the pencil is wrapped in the same color of the Kora Club. So you know, she made she wrapped each individual pencil with that. So this is part of the club, of the add-on in Italy. So the Persimmon is another Italian graphic designer that put together the graphic, and I sent that this is what I sent to Tif, so you understand how it all came about.
Yeah, so and as soon as I saw the graphic, I knew I wanted to do a shawl. I originally was thinking, you know, a triangle, asymmetrical, starting at one point, and as soon as I saw that image, I thought I want to do a crescent shawl. And part of it was that I kind of wanted to be able to do a shape that you had the option of it being, once you finish it, it having been worked as a top down or a bottom up. So you know, so this is the cast on edge down here. And so you could wear it as bottom up, which is kind of the way I love it. And I want to be able to show you like this slip stitch.
Can you bring it closer to the camera? Yeah.
See that?
Thank you.
You know, kind of for me, that was just the way, like the swooping of the branches and the way the fruit would hang. And so it has a variety of, it's a combination of garter stitch with slip stitch formation. And then there are, of course, eyelets, because we can't eliminate, you know, circular shape.
Yeah.
So without giving out all of the details of it, there are pattern sections that are repeated throughout, but there are a variety of different sections going on. And I just love the way the midnight blue is kind of like the branch. It's the dark, you know, it's kind of holding it together, but it's not the main thing that you see. And so when I was trying it on myself a little bit. Like I love wearing shawls where you have a point in the front and kind of wrap it. I don't want to lose them off the needles there. Kind of have it wrapped and scrunch. You know, I love having things at my neck, so scrunched and then have that part down. It's hard with the cord in there.
Yes, of course.
But it's also very, yeah. But because it's such a gradual curve, you could also block it so that the cast on ends up being the top, and you can make it, you know, much more of a straight edge and still, you know, wear it that way. I think maybe in that direction, it might, for me, be one that kind of ends up being one that's worn like with that part in the back and tying it forward and kind of scrunching it. But I just really loved to be able to give the versatility.
Right.
And I think there's something special about the way, you know, the way the slip stitch pattern looks between this direction,
right,
or this direction.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it does really have, even though it's the same thing, it does have like a very different look to it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, and then I don't know, I forget if we shared the sketch or not.
Yes, we did.
I mean,
it's on the website.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of adding like little tassels or pom-poms. So it will be written into the pattern for the ends to have little tassel ends or even little pom-pom ends, kind of like the persimmon fruit, of course, totally optional. But I just think that it'll be something really fun that when you're tying it and, you know, the ends are hanging down, that's just, a, you know, a little extra something fun that's playful.
Let's talk about the quantity that you use, because so just to make sure that everybody understand also how it works. Yep. The basic club, we always have a basic club. If you just want the color, you will get a pattern included anyway. So the basic club only has 3 skeins of brick dust. Yep. Yeah, just that. That's the basic. That's what you want. You don't want anything else. That's it. You have an option or adding the skein of midnight blue on the website. You just go and search for it. You know, it's straight there on the homepage. You can't miss it. And registration are open for another week, but we almost sold out. So maybe if you watch this in a week, don't come back saying, oh, I would like to get a Kora Club. We are definitely, you know, this has been very popular. So, you know, we are almost there and we will have to close the registration. So the shawl that Tif has designed includes the beautiful midnight blue, which is this, you know, strong contrast, as you were saying, you know, with the branches of the persimmon tree. So you will have to get 3+1 if you want to make sure you can do the shawl. You also have the option of get 3+1, so 4 skein, 5 skein, or 6 skeins, and add this one on top of it. It's up to you. If you think that you love the shawl, you will get the pattern anyway. And have people saying that they order their club already in the chat. Oh. And you know, if you want to do a sweater with this, and then you want 3 more to do the shawl, up to you. You can also get 2 Kora Club or without the add-on or without the midnight blue. Up to you. You know, calculate how many skeins you get. The question that I have for you, Tif, you just mentioned adding maybe a tassel or a pom-pom or something else. Mm-hmm. Will people have enough with 3 skeins and the midnight blue to do this extra little thing?
Yes, they will. So I did plan it. So ironically, originally the shawl, as we talked about, it had a herringbone edge. And the more I looked at it and the more I thought about it, I loved it for that finished braid, but I wound up changing it to a picot bind off so that it has like that little delicate. So there will be enough of brick dust to do the tassels. Okay. We will probably be cutting it pretty close. I mean, I'm giving a little wiggle room because I know, of course, people's gauges can be off of the midnight, but there will definitely be enough of the brick dust to do either a tassel or pom-pom.
Okay.
Both, one for each.
So, yeah. So people, you know, so that you know, is but the pattern is without a tassel. If you want to add a tassel, you probably do it, or maybe you can just, if you have a little bit of extra blue, and you can put them together.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to include, I will weigh my tassels.
Yeah.
So that it's included in the pattern, but also so someone knows if they are doing it with something, what portion of that is going to that, or if they are a loose knitter and they're nervous that they're going to run out, just to kind of have an idea.
Okay. So that you don't have to get an extra skein of something. Please don't.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you can always, look into your stash. I'm sure you have something beautiful that that can go with it.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
Amy, thank you for saying that this is your first time ordering the club. I'm really, happy that we have new people discovering us and new people trying. It's a beautiful way of trying the yarn, because you have a beautiful design, you have everything included. And I want to go back about to just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know me, if people that know me know that I have a sweet tooth. Clearly I could not last 10 minutes without trying one of the capsé. But with the From Italy with Love Club, you get the beautiful bookmark and the pencil, but you also get some extremely delicious natural candies with the club included if you do the add-on. And that is going to be the little package that you get. And you can see the color is a little bit reminiscent of the brick dust. We couldn't make it stronger. And again, we always try to work with small artisans in Italy. And this particular one, Le Querce, is a small producer of honey. They make their own honey, and make honey, they have jams. And, I wish I had like the entire selection. They made a beautiful hand cream that I literally just put on before coming here. I have that sample too, soap and stuff like that. But we went for the candies. We didn't want to give you soap like, say, wash yourself. So, and the candies are in zenzero e limone, so is ginger and lemon.
Oh, okay.
And the funny part is that each time we do these things with my team in Italy, Carlotta is doing the search, or what can we do? What shall we offer? And I have to do the tasting. At the end of the day, I own, the part of the company. So unless they have my green light, they don't go ahead. So I have several of these bags of candies with different flavors. And I took them home. My daughter, my 7 years old, has the same sweet tooth that I have. So I literally put some in her mouth, and that it was like eucalyptus. There were some with like mint, some with more just honey and lemon. And so we do a taste, and we call Carlotta, a team member in Italy, why we were doing that. And we were like, oh, this is good. So that's the fun part of doing these things, not only highlighting some small brands or designers that we want to work with, but, is definitely. So you will get a bag. This is open. I already had a few. I tried to, and it's really, really, really good. And it's all natural. So that's the other things that we had in the club as well. I just wanted to put it out there in case you were on the fence about getting the club. It's not just about the yarn, but it's about lovely goodies that you get with it as well. You will get them too, Tif. We will send them. So, unless you people that I see, they have question about the club, I think I would like to, and I did say the registration is open, unless you watch this in a month time, and then it will definitely be closed. It's a limited edition yarn color that you won't get anywhere else, but on our website through the club. And the club ships the last week of February in Europe and the first week of March in the US and Canada and the rest of the world. But let's go back to your beautiful design. So I'm in love with many of them, and I know that we cannot talk about all of them, but we will try. And if you are watching us and you have questions about any designs, please let us know. I will put the link down below for the Ravelry, mostly on Ravelry, right?
So all of my patterns are on Ravelry. A large amount of them are also on my website. I'm working to get them all there. It's an undertaking.
Okay.
But all of the new ones are there because now I just do it the same day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will link down below Tif website as well, and I will link the pattern on Ravelry. Then it's up to you. I know some people don't want to get the pattern on Ravelry, so I just put that link in, and then it's up to you where you want to go.
Yeah.
But I want to start with the beautiful design that you have in the new issue of Line magazine, which is an amazing issue. And it so happened that last Kora Club, Yona, which is the founder of Line together with Sini, was the guest designer for the Kora Club. And she just released that pattern, the Sienna vest, on Ravelry, so as an independent pattern. And the color of the club last time was Oliva. I think we have few skeins, maybe we just had like 5, 6 skeins still available on the website. But
I'm literally like, oh, do you have any more of that one?
Literally, I think we have 5 or 6 left. It was so popular as well that we made a small batch, and we said, we had a second batch in case you want it, because Yona is releasing the Sienna vest, and poof, it went. But I think I have few skeins. If you know somebody at mYak, they might able to hook you up. But I put my, very simple bookmark. So to see Ascend. So this Ascend is,
and I do actually, and I have my sample as well.
So let's talk about it. How did it came about? How was working with Line, and can you talk about the design?
Yeah, so so it's funny actually, because Danitza of Nature's Luxury, the day that they had posted about it. Oh, nope, actually.
No.
I went to her. So they had reached out to me. I'm getting the order mixed up. They had reached out to me about if I was interested in submitting a design for this issue. And of course, I immediately said yes. And so, this is funny because I don't love swatching, actually.
Oh.
And usually when I'm deciding about a project, if I get to like swatch number 5 and it doesn't work, I'm like, this wasn't meant to be. But I had this idea because of my herringbone love. I kind of wanted to channel that, but in a little less exact way. And so as I was flipping through, I found this chevron, and I thought, that's it. Like, that has to be a part of it, but I don't want it to be something that's too overpowering or feels like unapproachable. I just want it to be this kind of like hint of something, and then the rest of the sweater can be, I appreciate designs that are very complicated. I think that they're beautiful, but I also think about me as a knitter, and like, I like there to be, for every design, I like there to be like a little bit of a challenge, and then I like to have like lots of relaxing knitting associated with it, or vice versa, lots of relaxing and then a little something. And so I really like drop shoulder construction. And I kind of flipped through. So this one I actually swatched like 12 different things for, which was crazy because that's usually like way beyond my scope of willingness. But when I finally got it, and so Danitza is a dear friend, and immediately in my head I thought, okay, I need to use her homey yarn. I love the rustic.
Nature Luxury, right?
Nature's Luxury, yeah.
Just make sure that we say the yarn.
Sorry, sorry. As I'm saying first name, I forget.
Yeah.
Nature's Luxury homey yarn. So, which I used for my gray space pullover, which is actually on this one here. So I had already worked with this yarn, and I love how rustic it is. It blocks It blocks nice and softly, so it's rustic and kind of, it's a little stiffer as you're working with it, and it provides really good stitch definition, but it does soften like just the right amount when you're blocking
What weight is it?
But it is worsted.
It's a worsted weight. Okay, so
Yep.
that's the Nature Luxury. They're based in Germany.
Yep.
Yeah, wonderful company, wonderful people. We know them. We meet them at shows. They were here a year ago for Vogue Knitting. They were at our event here in New York. So love them dearly. Very nice brand.
They're lovely. Yeah, and so I said, so I reached out to Denitza and I said, I know I want to use a combination of like the natural brown. I love the natural brown. Do you have a dark blue? So she made me a dark blue.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know. So that is how Ascend was born. But the reason I wanted the dark blue is because, so Ascend is sort of like, you know, it's like the climb to the top of a mountain and overcoming something that just feels like this huge obstacle, but doing it, you know. And so to me, it was very much symbolic of leaving my interior design job and saying like, yes, I'm going to do this full time. And that is super scary, but I'm doing it because, like, you know, we have this one life and I feel very strongly that this is like my calling. I'm doing it. So that's very much what this sweater was inspired about. So I needed the dark blue to be, you know, the sky, the top, you know, when you get to the top of that mountain, you've overcome.
Right.
So yeah. So
if I may, as you know, of course, again, we are very happy to talk about the original yarn if we know the owner. If I know the person, if I know that yarn and I can say something beautiful about it, I'm always happy, and we always want to make sure that the designer, you know, can mention them. But, you know, it wouldn't be me if I say, yeah, but, you know, in case you're watching and you want to think about, what about our yarn? Would you want to do it in our yarns? Of course, you know, you can. That's why I ask. Because it's a worsted weight, we would have, you know, the same midnight blue that Tif has used in the shawl. Maybe it could be a nice, you know, our blue is a dark blue. It's almost black. Yeah. And we have the natural chocolate.
You know, actually, when you were holding up the undyed skein, I literally thought to myself, oh, well, that's like a version of my Ascend. Yeah.
So that would be the desert and the midnight blue. That would be really, really nice together. Or you can go, if this blue is too dark, you could also go with the Tibetan sky and desert. I think that would probably be my option.
Right. And channeling the tone on tone. So I know we did have the range of showing, you know, high contrast and also low contrast. And so like the chocolate with the desert would be a lovely, you know, it still has good contrast, but without it being
and that would be too natural. So the chocolate is the natural color as well. So the chocolate is, you know, 85% of the yaks are of this beautiful dark chocolate brown. So if you want something completely natural, that would be really pretty. And it's very easy to find out. You know, you just have to look at the yardage that is for the sweater, and then you just see how many skeins. And we're always happy to help you out if you decide to make a sweater with our yarn, so you're not sure about the yardage. You can just email us or DM us, and we will be happy to help as well. But and that is only available through Line Magazine, correct?
It is currently exclusive through the magazine. I forget, at some point I will publish it independently. I just forget when that is.
Yes. I can't remember either. But
the magazine is lovely. I mean, there's so many great patterns in this issue.
This issue, and we were talking about, we had Sini as our guest at one of our tea and knitting. We do virtual tea, monthly virtual tea and knitting. We just started. There was a second one, and Sini was our guest on last weekend.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, I mean, they are amazing. I mean, you know, there is so many wonderful designers. Of course, there is one from Julie Hoover that I love very much. And Need Cafe Midori, which has another beautiful design. I mean, they're all very beautiful, and Alex Bird, they're all one better than the others. So, and plus it's all the recipes and everything else. So it's really nice. I think we have 2 or 3 copies. You can find the stockists, the line stockists on their website. They have tons of stores all around the world that carry it. And I think I have a couple of copies as well left if you cannot find it somewhere convenient to you. And so that would be, and in a way, I think somebody just mentioned, thank you, Luciana, for mentioning that, is that the natural chocolate would be really nice as well with the dust. And now that I actually see that your sweater, the Ascent, I think that would be a great combination as well.
Yeah, it would.
So in case you need to get an extra Kora Club, hurry up and you can.
Yeah, well, when you said, I'm just going to change the blend. When you mentioned that, I wasn't sure if it was considered a DK or a worsted. And when you said that it's a worsted,
it's a little lighter than a worsted, but it blooms so beautifully that you can use it as a worsted.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it feels like the hand of it is lovely. I mean, it's going to have really great stitch definition. So you'll see that bottom chevron. Yeah.
Good. But let's move on to the next one that I want to talk about. Oh, well, you decide which one you want to talk about.
Oh, no, you tell me which one. I have a whole stack. So unless it's one that's not in my stack.
Okay. So the one I have on my wish list, I have 4 on my wish list. But the first one, let's talk about that because I don't have it as a printout. The Hygge Cowl. Hygge.
Oh, yeah.
How you pronounce it?
I don't actually know how you pronounce it.
I think it's Hygge. Hygge.
I think it's, yeah.
We will have this meme.
We'll just keep butchering it. So this is it.
Just came out. Let's go step one back. It just came out, what, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, no. 2 weeks ago, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So I'm losing track. I mean, yesterday I posted that our chat was happening on January 11th.
So, yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, please.
I don't even know what month it is. So
nobody will ever watch us.
So, because like I said, I mean, I love, as you see, like I do tons of sweaters that end up having some sort of collar, something going on. I love to have something like scrunched around my neck. So the herringbone is at the top. And the
like,
bottom,
I'm going so close to the camera to see it better.
I'm like,
wow, can I see that?
So yeah, so it's one that you actually, so you knit it, you're knitting it flat to begin with, and
you
then
where do you start from?
You start, where do you start? You start here, right here.
Yeah.
So you knit it flat with the slip stitch garter, and then you join in the round and you work the herringbone in the round. And actually, so there's 2 sizes. This is the standard size, or there's one that's just a little bit bigger, a little more relaxed. So you have a little, the larger size has a couple extra rows of the pattern before you join. And then it also, the neck is just a little bit more relaxed.
It's beautiful. So I love the herringbone section in this one. Is it really speaks to me.
Yeah, and so this was kind of one that I thought, I mean, I have several other cowls that herringbone is the thing. I mean, that's them. And I loved I love the texture at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Too. So it's kind of one of those things that I wanted to have. Again, like I said, that the first portion of it is very relaxing, easy, repetitive, and then so the herringbone is a challenge if you're not used to knitting herringbone. It's funny now because I knit it so much. Sometimes if I zone out and I'm just knitting, I look down and I've started knitting in herringbone and I'm like, oh, that's not what I was working on. Like, that's what my fingers now just go to. But yeah, just to, have that little bit of kind of focused knitting, if you will, it just makes such a beautiful texture. And actually, So after we posted yesterday that we were chatting, a couple people DM'd me that said they couldn't be on, but they would be able to catch it later. And so the question is, what is my best tip for knitting herringbone? And I would say that I have two really good tips, honestly. And if you've never knit it before, it's not something that is necessarily, if you Google a tutorial, they don't necessarily tell you this, but you want to go up several needle sizes from what is maybe typical for a yarn weight. So not to be scared when you say, if you see like a herringbone on fingering weight yarn and I'm telling you to use a size 10 needle, like don't panic. It's just because you're working every stitch twice, it's a very dense and like stiffer fabric, and it will kill your thumbs if you try to work it on a needle that's too small. And I think that seems to be the thing when people say, I tried it before and I hated it, it hurt my hands so much, that you weren't using a needle size that was large enough.
So sorry, so the needle size that you mentioned on the pattern is already the needle size higher than what normally people would use for that yarn?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're talking about needle size 10. Is that what, for example?
No, that was just an example of like, because like, you would never normally knit fingering weight on a size 10 needle, but you might for herringbone. So it's just, sometimes it seems really crazy.
But again, it depends on gauge. It will be a higher needle, but it will be depending on the, how to get it.
Exactly, just because of the way it's worked. And then when you're knitting herringbone in the round, if you switch out your left hand needle, and I do mention this in at least all of my recent herringbone patterns, if you switch out your left needle to a smaller size, makes a world of difference of just the ease of getting into the stitch and working it. So because your right needle is setting the gauge and your left needle is just allowing.
But if you're on a circular needle, you just use a different needle temporary for the stitch?
So, so if you're using, you can only do it if you're using interchangeables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So your left hand needle.
Screwed.
Yeah. I also do that disclaimer. It's like, I highly suggest using interchangeables. I mean, it can be done. What's that?
What people don't have interchangeable. I don't, for example. I don't work.
Then use the suggested needle size, but just, it's kind of, and it's one of those things that you'll learn that you want to have a relaxed tension. I am a super tight knitter. So, but now when I knit herringbone, like, it's just like muscle memory. You like, when you feel that you're like scrunched up in your shoulders, it's like, okay, relax everything and just try to work it in a relaxed tension, because it is stiff and it'll kind of hurt like your thumb joint, like right here, if it's too tight. And if it feels like it's too tight, go up another needle size.
Oh yeah, you make it sound a bit complicated. You make it sound like people should not knit it. So let's.
No, definitely knit it. But that's the question that I.
It's a beautiful pattern. You should get it. You should knit it, and just figure out that.
Well, the reason I kind of disclaimer it is because that's the question that I always get, but it's usually followed by someone saying, well, like, I'm not a loose knitter, so I went down to blah, blah, blah size and it was awful. And I said, well, you shouldn't have gone down because you're making it extra difficult. So that's just kind of why, when you see the large needle size and you think there's no way I need the size for worsted or whatnot.
Right.
Just trust me.
And the weight of this one is a DK or no?
So the weight of this one is actually like a light bulky, because I held 2 strands of DK together. This was sort of a lighter DK. So I do think it made up like, it's definitely a light bulky equivalent versus like a full bulky. Yeah, so you're holding 2 strands of DK together throughout, or you could just knit it with like a light bulky, a chunky yarn.
Okay.
That's just so that you get.
I'm trying to think what we can knit it with, because we just we used to have a beautiful chunky yarn which we stopped, and we actually sold whatever we had. And
so I would say, so I did actually have I had a test knitter who wanted to use tonals. She wasn't really interested in speckled. And so for that, I mean, it really depends on your preference, but like when I marl with 2 tonal strands, I like them to be lower contrast.
Right.
So that it kind of makes like a beautiful, like heathered look versus the like high contrast where you kind of lose the stitch.
Yeah. I was thinking, you know, because I actually really wanted, it's on my list and I really wanted to have it made. And I'm just pulling yarn. Somebody probably that knows me is laughing, but I just pulled 2 colors at random. And and I thought about the cloud, which is our DK with a strand of the lace together, which, you know, give it a little marlin, but I don't think it's going to be is thick enough.
It won't be thick enough. Yeah, but those colors together are perfect.
Right, so I just need to figure things out. But what if I get the worsted? I mean, our medium and the cloud together, because it's a sport light DK. Would that work?
So if you had, if you hold 3 together, sport. So sport and DK is like Aran weight, right?
Yeah. So that's right. So maybe that would probably work. We just have to
I would try that. Plus, if you try it, if you do it with the needle, I mean, if you get gauge, then
yeah, that would be interesting, because I thought about this combination and going back to the chocolate, because I love that combination that you have.
Yeah, and then with the dark accents in here, because I just felt like it needed a little bit of something contrasty. It then also, and I knew from the beginning that I was doing a hat to go with it.
Oh yeah. So that is so beautiful. I saw that.
So you're using up, so, you know, even though you might only be using a tiny bit of the chocolate for the cowl,
then it
becomes, you know, like the main color for that. Yeah.
I had to figure this one out. I was just about to send the yarn to our sample knitter, but I think, I will ask her to, we will, you know, I say I swatch, but I won't. So I will ask her to swatch with that idea and come back. If anybody is doing it, and let us know if you have some of our yarn and you want to do some quick swatch by tomorrow, and let me know. That would be that would be a good idea. As well.
More than a sample knitter, if I could just have a sample swatcher, I would be super happy.
I do have a sample.
I know, but I'm like, and I knit tight, but I knit right-handed and I flick, but then I also do continental tension, and I will go back and forth between the two based on like my mood, the day, if I'm tired, whatever. So I don't really trust someone else to kind of come up with that for me.
Of course, it has to be, because the gauge is different. And you know, I have somebody that does a lot of swatches. Amy does a lot of swatches for me. And when I want to knit something, I said, "Oh, cool, it's done. What needles did you use?" She said, "No, you have to do your own swatch." I'm like, "Oh boy, I don't want to do my own swatch." Just like go with it. But you know, swatching is very important. We had this wonderful workshop with Julie Hoover, which is, you know, the queen of swatches, and tell us about how to do it and everything else. And I listened. It was wonderful. And then I started like a project the week after. And of course, I did not swatch. And then I had to start again. So swatch is very, very important. So we've done this one. The next one I want to talk about, I hope people don't get bored, is, I have a couple of questions, sorry. Medium to knit ascend. Oh yes, that's what we did. The ascend was, that's the one I wish we show, yeah?
Yeah, so ascend, you could use
we show it with the chocolate, we show it with chocolate and brick dust. Yeah. We show it with the natural, with the chocolate and desert. We did midnight blue. Sorry, look, that was this way because it goes this way. The Tibetan sky and the desert, and we did also midnight blue and desert. Also, that would be nice.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered your question. And the new color, yes. The next one is. Beachcomb. I better say this word right. Yeah. Did you have
So,
that?
Beachcomb, because it's winter, Beachcomb is tucked away somewhere. Where is she?
Okay, I have the picture. So Beachcomb is
I keep my trunk here.
a fingering weight.
Yeah.
This one has a lot. This has the herringbone stitches, right?
Yeah, I found it.
Good. It's okay. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes. So
Okay. Your light is going a little bit, but it's fine. We can you
So
show some of the details?
the herringbone's on the hem, and then it's the front of the body at the neckline has it here.
Okay. So you have the herringbone element is on the here on the body.
So it's at the top, like right along the neckline.
Yeah.
And the bottom hem.
And it has short sleeves, right?
It's like sleeveless. Yep.
Sleeveless, perfect for me.
No, and the rest of it is stockinette stitch. So I mean, this is like my lovely summer layer on over a dress. The gauge is looser and fingering weight, just so that it's kind of, I mean, because I get it, it's wool in the summer, so that's not everybody's go-to, but
now, I just said, yeah.
So then would be lovely, or
I was just thinking about it. I'm just trying to, maybe should have been a little bit more organized. But I mean, a fingering weight, our lace held double would, makes a beautiful fingering. So I'm picking up.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, so by the way it's written, it is a loose gauge on purpose because it's
of that. So I mean, I just show you then the petrol just because it's a little bit easier to see on the with the light here.
Yep.
But this one, the mYak lace held double, makes a beautiful fingering, and you only need few skeins because the yardage is so big. But because you said about the summer, the fact that it might be hot, I just thought that our mYak and silk is a light fingering though, so maybe you need a strand of the lace to go with it.
You probably would need a strand of the lace to go with it. Is it 100% silk?
No, it's 50% mYak and 50%.
Okay. Yeah.
So that would be maybe nice. Oh, stop, too heavy. Oh, I think I need a candy.
Yeah. I think that the silk, or even what's the content of the lace again?
100% mYak.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
I wore it in the summer a ton.
Okay. Yeah.
And it didn't bother me, but
I have just to show, not that, without, I'm just taking so nobody sees the design, but this is the lace held double.
Yeah.
It makes it really nice. But I think now that I think about it, I think the lace, the mYak silk, which also will give a little bit of the marlin contrast. The mYak silk, in this case, I just grabbed one of the colors that I have there. They happen to be blue, Indra, and the petrol together. That would be really nice.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. It would have like a subtle heathering to it.
Yeah, I will have to rewatch myself in this to
remember the combinations.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm thinking that definitely, or that would be. Even I know it might be, but again, I think even the two pinks would go really nice.
Yeah, that's lovely. I don't know if you saw my post from this morning about how pink has like somehow fallen into my life as this color that I can't live without.
I live in pink.
I'm like, I think I might just like declare 2021 the year that I do lots of pink and just.
Well, maybe I should send you something like that to make a nice sweater.
Gorgeous. Yeah, that's a lovely tone.
And this is the first time that I go, one of these live or anything else not wearing any knitwear because I don't have a sample from you. So I had to just wear a t-shirt. And so normally I'm like, wearing, changing and doing things. But today I said, let me just do black. So I don't take away anything from you. So that was maybe with the future, oh, somebody already knows too much here. So we are coming out with a new line of mYak cotton.
Oh, okay.
In maybe like 2 months. I'm not sure. I'm not saying, but it should be really soon, ready for the summer for sure. So maybe that could be.
It will be fingering weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be perfect. And I do. So I know that you don't love to gauge swatch. When you're doing herringbone, because it's a tighter stitch. So with wool, it's wonderful because wool will stretch.
Right.
So when you're using cotton that doesn't have that stretch, I mean, the yak might counteract it. You definitely want to gauge swatch because if it ends up that, it's not fitting exactly how you want, cotton isn't going to allow you to, it's not going to be as forgiving and blocking that you can kind of be like, okay, let me just stretch it and get it to do what I want. But the cotton yak blend, that would be.
Yeah, it's good for summer, but let's see when we get it out. I have a question for you. Yeah. Which one of your sweater patterns would be a good for beginner?
Good for beginner. Okay, so that actually was one of the questions that someone messaged me yesterday. Also,
maybe it's the same person.
Perhaps. So I have my coastal crop raglan, which I released it in October. I released it right before my honeymoon.
Sorry, the name is
before my anniversary.
Coastal Crop?
Coastal Crop Raglan. Yeah. I feel like if I stand, I don't know if I stand back, if it makes it easier, if it ends up getting too dark. But so I mean, I absolutely love a raglan sweater. And this one, it has an eyelet detailing along the top.
Can you maybe, just hold on to the camera, that part a little bit. Don't go too fast so that we can see it.
Yeah, so let's see. So it has like an eyelet detailing.
Yeah.
Kind of here in the front and the back. And a fun slip stitch texture in the collar.
So that's good for beginners.
And the sleeve cuffs that kind of then go into a twisted. So yeah, I mean, I think.
I'm not sure what kind of beginners you're thinking of.
Well, I think because, I don't know. If it's really, really beginner, or maybe this is sort of adventurous beginner, because so much of it it's basic. It's not like it has like, very complicated, doesn't have a complicated lace pattern or whatnot. That I think, and I'm pretty sure I actually had a beginner sweater knitter who test knit it for me. So it does have a detailing on the side as well, like a little, like a faux cable, but it's not, you don't use cable needles for it at all. It's totally done.
Does it have short rows at the beginning on top or something, or no?
It does have short rows. I explain how to do them. I do German short rows. I don't know. I think that's, for me, those are the most straightforward short rows.
Yeah, actually the easiest.
So I think that's still like a beginner, learning how to do short rows in a sweater.
And there are plenty of YouTube videos on how to make those, and you can just stop them and do it. And so that's good. Anything else that's good for beginners?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how adventurous of a beginner you are. So this is my wind-kissed sweater here.
Wind-kissed?
Yep. And so again, it's a raglan, and it's pretty straightforward in terms of, like, there's nothing super complicated. It does have this detailing and like a little detailing bib. But it's a 4-row pattern in there that's repeated. It's like a pretty easy to remember rhythmic pattern. And then it has like a little fun.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's very nice.
So,
okay. Well, we got it.
Yeah.
We got 2 almost. So what about Wanderlight?
Wanderlight.
I can just see you grabbing things from one to the other. It's like, where is this?
My
Where
bag
is
of tricks. Hang on.
Why is she asking me this now?
I just found that there's some ends on Wanderlight that I didn't weave in.
Sorry, yeah. Somebody's
funny though, because
okay, hold on.
Yep.
What weight yarn is the coastal cropped Raglan?
DK.
That's a DK.
Yep.
And what's the blend? 50-50. Maybe they ask, Marcia, you're asking about the yak cotton. Yeah, yak cotton is 50-50. 50% yak, 50% cotton will go very well with the 50% baby yak and 50% silk. Okay, so we are talking now about Wanderlight.
Yeah, so even though my sweaters are finished and I wear them all the time, sometimes I don't weave in all the ends.
You're not the only designer that I know that does that. I've seen designers come in and hide their ends like this. So I'm not surprised.
Why it's that one last step at the end, and I'm like, I just can't do it. But yeah, so Wanderlight here.
What weight is Wanderlight? It's a DK.
Wanderlight is DK. I knit it with fingering weight held double, because that's my favorite thing to do, is to hold strands together. Oops, there we go. Yep. So it is DK weight. And again, it's a short sleeve tee drop shoulder. It has herringbone on the bottom hem.
Oh, that's so pretty. I really love this one.
And then it's on the sleeve edge and a tiny bit on the collar.
That's really nice. I'm just looking at our I think this would be good with our Tibetan cloud again, with the lace edit. So there would be the light DK, would be a true DK, so or two fingerings. But you know, if you have a green on the blue, we have Artemisia and Gentiana, and then you can just you know, you could just add a strand of the lace and make it little pop a little bit more. You know, again, I would probably add the, you know, the Tibetan sky or the petrol in it. Ooh, actually, I think I would love to add more like an emerald to pop a little bit more.
That's a pretty color.
Marlin play, you know, play with the marlin as well.
Yeah.
Or I would probably go like nuts, and I would just get the canela, which is again the more like with the saffron in it.
Yeah.
And I think I have a swatch. Yeah, I think probably, I'm sure I have a swatch already. Yes. So that would be how the two marks.
Oh, that's really pretty.
That would come, and then I have a high contrast for the hem. So
yeah,
the color that you have, even that, I'll probably do that.
I know. You know how I love navy with oranges.
Yeah. So I think that would be really, really good as well. And you can just have a tone on tone. You can have a midnight blue for this one, so it doesn't show the marlin. I'm just trying to grab it. Yeah. No, this is that. So you just have, you know, tone on tone with that and this together. Ooh, that would be so pretty.
That would be so pretty.
That would be, yeah, that's for the Wanderlight. Oh, I think I might send this to a sample knitter.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
I'm just like, I'm piling things up, like ideas of things, and you know, and see. But so that, I think, you know, Wanderlight and the Beachcomb were two of my favorites. But you have so Beachcomb. Okay, hold on, because Beachcomb is the original yarn for Beachcomb is the Julia Celine Nomad.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. I love Julia Celine. I love her yarn. I love her. She is wonderful. So if you want to knit it with the original yarn, go and that she still has the color. I mean, she has tons of colors anyway. So
yeah, I think that it's a current color.
Yeah,
I think Orion.
I think is
Oh.
Yeah, But that's
And Wanderlight was the Nomad held double.
oh, right, okay, because
Yeah.
that's a figure.
Because it's because what happened was I knit Wanderlight, and then I had all of this Orion left, and I said,
yeah,
really, I need to make a summer tape.
yeah. And I was just looking at, because I think you have that gray petrol, the gray coloring kind of thing. So I thought that also this color combination would be really pretty.
That would be really pretty.
Salice grigio in Tibetan Cloud and the petrol in the lace. I think that would be even prettier than the darker blue that I showed before.
You would notice it. If you're using it for the herringbone, you'll appreciate that you'll notice it more. That was one thing that, I mean, I absolutely love Beachcomb. Like I said, I wear it all the time. I love, love, love it. But I think I made people frustrated when I released it because they found it too hard to see the herringbone in this color.
Yeah.
Like the same with like when you knit with black yarn, that it's just so hard to photograph it.
Yeah.
So for the sake of being able to really capture it, maybe the lighter blue combination that you said.
You can definitely, or you can have, we can go with the lighter one as well. You could just have this one instead.
Yeah, and you'll notice it.
Lighter, so you can notice it better. This is Hortensia with petrol. It will become darker because of having the two of them together. I wonder if I have it. I have all of these swatches.
Look at all those swatches.
Yeah. No, this is not, but anything, when you're marled together, it becomes almost like that. So that's really pretty as well. So, and you see that. Yeah. It helps having all of these swatches around when we do these kind of things, because it's, it's one thing when you show the two colors together and you think, oh, how pretty. But when you actually show the swatch and see how nice it becomes, and, and you just have the little effect, it's really, really pretty. But you just released, you're not, you just put up a test knit, correct?
Yes.
Today.
Yeah, so the test knit that I just put up is for my,
again, one side, the other side.
I named it the Heart and Homebody.
The what?
Heart and Homebody.
Okay. Oh, heart.
Yeah, because it's sort of like, we made the decision that our kids weren't going to go back to school this year. And so then I immediately needed to cast on something that was just like stress relieving. I love the sweater so much. So this is.
Wow. This is a bulky yarn?
So it makes a bulky. It's worsted held double. So it would be like the medium held double.
Wow.
And for me, it was kind of one of those, like, I know that it's going to be, obviously a heavyweight sweater. However, and same thing as like the staycation that I'm wearing right now, which is DK.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. I'm a sweatshirt girl. I love wearing sweatshirts. I love wearing sweatshirts in the summer, like when it starts to get chilly and whatnot. So for me, this was kind of one of those that in the cold months, you can wear it layered over something. And in the summer, it's kind of like at the end of the day when it's chilly, but you're still sitting outside to kind of throw it on. Currently, it is written for a short sleeve. And I'm still on the fence about whether or not I want to write in a long sleeve for it, or maybe that's something to come. But yeah, it was one of those things that I felt like I knew I wanted a color blocked striped sweater, and I wanted it to be something that I would wear all the time, that I would throw on over summer dresses or whatever. And so even though it's still my like normal, fairly muted earthy colors, just pairing like, the gold, that I don't really wear this color much because I don't feel like it's great on like right against my skin tone, but mixed in colors, pop them. I love it. Olive green is my favorite color in the world. so I had to have green, and pink I'm obviously currently obsessed with. Yeah. Yeah, so this is one that absolutely, like, the medium held double would
Well,
be
that would be
perfect.
a lot of yarn.
Well, I can send you this. I can send you the details on it because it's short sleeve. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. And we definitely have. We have the beautiful mustard that we could use.
yeah,
And some of the other colors. Yeah. I think that would be really nice. But yeah, I was just looking at the mustard,
yeah.
and the pink and the green. Yeah. And I think in the desert, I'm just
And I
looking.
love. I mean, like you're saying, how you don't bleach your yarn before
Yeah.
you dye. I mean, I think that for me at least, like it gives that really beautiful, like dusty look that
Yeah. Yeah.
undertones.
It's
All
like
of
a
the
heathery
colors, but
look.
yeah.
I don't even see the colors, but I'm sort of, there is a, I will have to put all of these skeins together. I'm trying to put them together. Oh yeah. So you have the chocolate in there. You have a brown, yeah?
No, so I have, it's olive green.
Oh, you have a
And
green.
it's like, so this is like a darker natural brown, and this is a lighter, like oatmeal.
Hmm.
And I have olive.
I'm just putting together the colors, not much the weight because I just finished, but I think that already.
Yeah, so it's basically like that.
I will
with a
probably do that.
Yes. Yes.
That would be very pretty.
Yeah.
All right. And are you ready? You just launched the test knit, or is it already full?
It's full, but just send me an email.
Oh no, I won't do it. I just want in case somebody.
Oh, it's like if you're interested, I'm like, send me an email.
Yeah, sure.
In
a million years, as if I haven't knit. I'm still have to finish the sleeves on the sweater that I'm doing. It's going to take me another month just to do that. I wish I could do even have time to do the test knitting. But anyway,
I think that it's I mean, it's full. I've closed the test knit. I posted it on Monday, I think. I forget what. I think I posted on a Monday. I'm sending it out later today. I'm just finishing a couple little things to it.
All right.
So
now we're looking forward for the release. That's when we are going to take it on. And
I'm planning to release it in March. So
okay.
Yeah.
March is a good month. Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything else? Do you have we're going on a little long, I think. And despite the initial
the only other one that I made sure to pull out because so many people have been messaging me about it is the Clove and Twine toque that I released.
Oh, yes, of course. That was one of the things, one of the one that they want to talk about it.
And I thought.
The Clove and Twine toque, yes. I will have to put all the links in, so bear with me if I don't do it immediately. That is so gorgeous as well. This is a fingering weight, right?
So it is fingering. So it's fingering weight held double. And then in the sections that also have the mohair, the lace weight is held with them. So alternatively, it could just be DK and then the mohair where needed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really pretty.
Yeah.
And that's really, really nice.
Yeah. And I think, this is one where, again, if you were holding strands together, and I think if you did a fairly tone on tone combination so that you get the marling without it being, because I think you really want the lateral braids to be able to stand out.
I think I would go again with this kind of, with the cannella and for the marling part. So the cannella and the strand of the lace, because then we will get a true decay. If you do fingering and fingering, we will just get to a true decay, and we, so we have that. And then you just get a skein of, another different color that could go with it, or even, tone it down a little bit, maybe cladonia or something that could work together as well. And, we don't have the mohair part, but our mYak lace is pretty, it's very soft and it's sort of squishy. So I think that would work as well. Yeah.
And some of the like some people are allergic to mohair. You can use Surrey, of course, as well. But for anybody who didn't really want like the fluff, but they wanted the effect of it, I had suggested using so if you used the combination, like you said, for the brim and these sections of it, and then the lateral braid is just like one color held double, so that there is still a little bit of contrast there. Yeah.
Wow, it's a really pretty one. I really like that one. Okay, on the list we have like 600. I thought I only had like 3 or 4 on the list, and I added a few more. So is as I said at the beginning, you know, we've been fun, and you can see, you know, we are quite familiar with Tif design, and we've been fun of Tif work. Not, you know, also you can see from the channel we had just the attention to details, the fact that she wants to create something different as well. It's not the usual raglan, or it's not the usual combination of stitches as well. It's really your style. It's really unique, and I can see the love from nature as well in just the design, where you place the design. You know, if it really feels really, really wonderful.
Thank you. And I actually just remembered one thing that I wanted to point out. So this is sort of a like, it's not really a sneak peek because I haven't started it yet, but it's a heads up of something coming. So of course, because I pushed back the sweater to the fall, I'd kind of missed the window. So this is my comfort zone tank that's already released. But remember,
we will need another chat just to cover everything.
The long sleeve comfort zone, that is in, remember, the combination of the spin cycle with your,
oh yes,
I know we pushed it. I think part of when we decided about the shawl, I was kind of like, you know, I'm cutting it too close with the sweater. Let's wait till fall. But I'm super excited about it, and I think so. This is the plan for a long sleeve version, and it won't be the exact same, but similar to the comfort zone tank.
So that would be, so that is just for people that are watching and they might not be in the know. So this one is a mYak medium, correct?
So the long sleeve comfort zone is, the medium.
That's the mYak medium. You have the midnight blue in your hands.
Because, right, so it'll be the worsted equivalent.
And together with the spin cycle, is that dye in the wool? No.
I'm forgetting.
A spin cycle.
Dream state.
Oh, dream state. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be a worsted weight sweater for the fall.
I love the colors.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that.
Just have to make sure that they have that color when you come out.
I know, I'll have to remind them.
Yeah.
Remember that design we planned?
Yes,
I
exactly.
know. It's like, it's been so crazy with the pandemic of all the plans and all the, you know, my schedule.
Yeah, but you know,
something, and then all of a sudden it was like,
you just have to go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Yep. So that's like a little sneak peek of something coming for the fall. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think but thank you everybody for watching us live. You know, we are sort of new to the YouTube channel. We're trying to entertain people. We've been asked over and over again to keep doing the chats, whether we on our own, normally it's me making a fool of myself in front of the camera for like an hour, or having a special guest. So today I was really happy in this wonderful occasion of the Tibetan New Year to have Tif with us. So I know, you know, this was your first live as well. So you survived. You were okay.
I survived. Yeah.
And I just want to thank everybody, you know, whoever watches live, or if you're watching it in a week, in a month, or, you know, who knows, in a year. Hopefully we will be out and about, and we will be able to meet in person. I think that's one of the things that I would love the most, to be able to meet you in person. And we are looking forward to have the release of the Persimmon Branch. We didn't even say the name, I think, at the beginning. The Persimmon Branch shawl. She's still knitting it, But if you want to get the Kora Club, just go on our website. Registration is open for another week until we finish. And as you see, we mentioned these different ways in which you can use the color, the brick dust. So not only the beautiful shawl that Tif has designed, but quite a few other things. And I think hopefully we just give you some ideas of what you can do. I will, as I said, link below all of the patterns that Tif has talked about. You will see more pictures. And you can see Tif on Instagram as Tif Neilan _handknits.
Yeah.
So follow her there. Follow us on Instagram as well. Just make sure, before you leave, just do the extra thing and subscribe to the channel. I think it means a lot if you subscribe and you get to know what is going to come up next week. And share the love, share the video to your friends so more people will be able to know about the wonderful work that Tif does. Thank you, Tif. Thank you very much. It was been exciting to be with you. And thank you. Oh, and there's a lot of thank you, a lot of hearts coming in.